EPL top 7 teams, most important player of the season 2022-2023. These players are very instrumental to their team's progress, and today on Premier 7, I want to take a look on these key players. So make we see what I want. All right, so welcome to another live session here on StreamYard. Welcome to Premier 7. I am your host, Ryan Nelson. And on Premier 7, this is an amazing sports platform that will bring you news on the top 7 teams in the English Premier League. Now, with that being said here, just to reiterate, today's topic will be based on EPL top 7 teams' most important player for this season 2022 to 2023, with an in depth look on the player's profile. Now, of course, with that being said here, I just want to say thanks to all those persons who have managed to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Premiere 7 because without you all, this channel will not be what it is today. Now, of course, to move forward here into details, I know for a fact that sometimes persons may not have the time on their hand to see what is taking place in the Premier League. And the Premier League this season is a season of surprises because there are some teams who we would have thought would be in the top 7, but they are not there. So I'm going to show you a small pictorial representation of the English Premier League to let you know the top 7 teams. Current leaders are Arsenal. Arsenal, they have played 19 games. Actually, they have been doing quite fine, scoring a lot of goals with a awesome goal difference of 29. That gives them points of 50, followed by defending champions Manchester City. They have played 20 games with goal difference of 33 and points of 45. And this is a surprise. The third place. Currently in third place, we have Newcastle United, who played 20 games as well, similar to Manchester City, with goal difference of 22, and they are on 39 points. And speaking of a team that we expected to be there, the Red Devils, Manchester United, 20 games as well, with goal difference of 7, so they need to score a lot more goals. And right now, they are on equal points with Newcastle United. After United, we have Tottenham Hotspurs, 21 games, so they have played the most games so far, with a better goal difference than United of 9, with points of 36. Now, to wrap up the last 2 teams that complete the top 7, we have Brighton, who played 2 games less than Spurs. They played 19 games, 31 points, with goal difference of 10. And to wrap up things, we have Fulham, who played 21 games, very small goal difference of 2, but the same amount in terms of points like Brighton, that is 31. So that doesn't look bad for those teams. I mean, it shows that the English Premier League is a league where any team can cause or create an upset. Now, to dive into the main topic for today, I am going to speak about 7 key players from the respective teams that I have mentioned a few minutes or seconds ago. Now, the names that are on the list, as you can see visually, Arsenal, I'll be speaking about Bukayo Saka, followed by Man City striker Erling Haaland, then from Newcastle, Miguel Almiron, Manchester United, Marcus Rashford. From Tottenham Hotspurs, Harry Kane. Brighton, Solly March. Fulham, Alexander Mitrovic. So let me just dive into details here to speak on the first player on the list, who is called Bukayo Saka. Currently 21 years old. He is an England international. He plays in the number 7 shirt for Arsenal in numerous positions. He can play as a defender on the left hand side. He plays in the midfield as well, center, left, and right. But based on watching the Premier League, we can see that Saka plays on the right hand side. Now, sticking to the Premier League, Saka plays in all games for his team so far. 19 appearances, 1,629 minutes covered, 7 goals, 7 assists. So it shows that Saka have a very decent goal contribution, because goal contribution speaks volume of goals and assists. And with that being said here, at the age of 21, he is actually lighting up the Premier League. He scored some crucial goals against big teams like Manchester United last week. And of course, that will be revealed in regards to his player profile for us to realize what type of player Saka is. Now, looking on his playing style, he likes to pass the ball short and he likes to do layoff. If he's not scoring, he's making assist. And as you can see here, for his strengths includes crossing the ball, key passes, and finishing. There's no significant weakness for Saka, which is amazing. Those are some key information about Saka. Of course, I want to show you more about his profile, because we want to have deeper look in regards to how they perform in regards to minutes per 90. So let's look on Saka's profile on 1 versus 1. So for Saka, as we can see here, number 1 in terms of assist outside of the box, number 2 in terms of assist, number 3 in tackles in opponent's half, which shows that Saka is very instrumental. So it's good on and off the ball, and that makes him quite important for his coach, Arteta. So this goal was against Manchester United on the 22nd of January, whereas the build-up play came from these two guys, Xhaka, right, and Zinchenko. Over here, you have other players, which include Saka himself. He was right here. He passed the ball to Tomiyasu, and he found himself right here and shoot into the back of the net. The ball went. So Saka, he is a phenomenal player who have a very bright career. I am expecting great things from him in the future as well. All right. So next on the list, we have the man himself from Manchester City, the goal poacher. His name is Erling Haaland. He is currently 22 years old. He's from Norway. He wears the number 9 for Manchester City, and his lone position is playing as a forward, number 9. So 18 games, 1,552 minutes covered, 25 goals, 3 assists. That is actually sensation in terms of his goals that he scored within those 18 games that he have played. To say the least here, he is a goal machine. 25 goals in the Premier League so far. I can't recall seeing any player scoring 40 goals in a single Premier League season. He likes to do layoffs, likes to play short passes, and is great on the counter. Key passer, hold on to the ball quite well, very strong in terms of heading attempts, and his main attribute is his finishing. He's a goal poacher. And we can see that he have a small issue here, and once you are playing for Pep, you need to defend as well. So over the years, as long as he's at Manchester City, he will be nurtured defending properly as well. Number 1 in terms of goals, right? Number 1 in goal by foot. Number 1 in expected goal, which is wonderful. He's lighting up the Premier League as well. Number 1 in terms of big chances, and so forth. Now it shows that Erling Haaland, that is the reason why he is actually the leading goal scorer of the Premier League, because he's ranked number 1 this season so far. And take a look, for instance, on a goal that he scored. This was against Wolves on the 22nd of January this year. A ball from Riyad Mahrez, right, to Erling Haaland, and in the back of the net. Moving forward to someone else from the third place team in the Premier League at the moment, Newcastle United. And this player is called Miguel Almiron. So Miguel Almiron is actually 28 years old. He plays for Paraguay. His shirt number is 24. He plays in numerous positions, attacking midfield, center, left, and right, more so from the right hand side, and he is a forward as well. Looking on his Premier League record so far, 20 appearances, 1,670 minutes covered with 9 goals, 1 assist. So he's more so a goal scorer, but I mean, in terms of his work rate, Eddie Howe will never leave him outside of his squad. All right, so let's look at Miguel Almiron's style of play. He likes to pass the ball short, likes to cut in, likes to tackle. So he is a committed player who believes in team effort. He holds onto the ball phenomenally well as well, and defensively, he contributes massively. A small weakness is that of crossing the ball, but hey, that doesn't mean that he doesn't try. And for Newcastle to be third place right now in the Premier League, that is because of his contribution. Looking on Almiron in terms of per 90, he is ranked number 3 in goals by foot in the Premier League. This was a 3-0 victory against Leicester City, who are not in good form. As you can see here, the style of play or the build-up play came from this end, from Joe Linton to Burns. I think this is Bruno Guimaraes. Yes. And over here to the man himself, Kieran John Trippier. He is one of the best right back right now in the Premier League. He is good defensively and he is great offensively. So he will be the person who makes most of the cross for Newcastle. That is the reason why Almiron got the chance to go into his main position and put it away in the back of the net. So, I mean, he's not a bad player. This season is his best season, and every player do have their best season. I mean, there is even more to say about him in the coming years. Now, of course, moving forward to another player from Manchester United, the man himself, Marcus Rashford. He actually cannot stop scoring goals so far. Rashford is 25 years old. He plays for England, right? He wears the number 10 for United. He plays in numerous positions, but more so he play from the left hand side. In the Premier League so far, 18 games, 1,621 minutes covered, 9 goals, 3 assists. Not bad. His goal contribution is positive for him and for his team. For his playing style, he likes to do layoffs, likes to dribble, counter attack, and by way of that, he do score goals. Now, the player has no significant strength. However, he's scoring goals, he's making assists. Because if he wasn't performing quite well for Eric Ten Hag, then you know what will happen. He's weak with his aerial duel and his defensive contribution needs to improve. But by way of the mentorship and under the wings of Eric Ten Hag, we will see, or we should expect to see Rashford getting better day in, day out. And by way of a representation here, this is the goal that he scored against Arsenal. So from the left hand side, Bruno Fernandes was there. He made the assist to Rashford, who skipped past Thomas Partey, and boom, in the back of the net past Ramsdale, and that was where United led the game 1-0. So let's move on from Marcus Rashford and over to Harry Kane. 29 years old, he's an England player as well. He wears the number 10, plays in numerous positions, attacking midfield, in the center, and preferably as a forward. That is what most persons know Harry Kane for, being a goal poacher. So 21 games for Harry Kane, 1,878 minutes, 16 goals, and 1 assist. In terms of the assist, I think that he will improve as long as Son Heung-min and Kulusevski picks up, they will allow him to even create a few chances for them. He actually likes to shoot from a distance. Now, Harry Kane's strengths: finishing strong, aerial duels strong, key passes strong, through balls strong. He do have a small issue as well in terms of defensive contribution. I mean, he's a player that I like. I heard and actually read that United is looking for him as a player to sign within the summer. Now, for Harry Kane, records per 90 minutes, Harry Kane is ranked number one in terms of goals with the head, number two in terms of goals in the Premier League, number two in terms of shots on target, top five in terms of penalty, number two in big chances created. And this is a representation of a goal that he scored, and this was against Fulham, scoring that main goal for Spurs. So that is all on Harry Kane. So let's speak about Brighton. Their key player this season is Solly March, 28 years old, like Almiron. He wears the number 7 shirt for his team, positions midfield, center, left, and right. But based on his Premier League history here so far this season, he is not performing so bad. 19 games, 1,637 minutes covered, 4 goals, 4 assists. Not bad for his goal contribution. Now, his style of play likes to pass the ball along, so he's a key player for Brighton so far, and I'm looking forward to see a lot more from Solly March in terms of his career. So looking on Solly March in terms of 1 versus 1 records per 90, there's nothing significant about Solly March here. However, scrolling down, we see that he do have some great stats, personal stats, top stats: 51 crosses, 8 in the Premier League, 58 dribbles, 10 in the Premier League. Now, representation of a goal that he scored as well. This was against Liverpool on the 14th of January. Everything started from McAllister to Estepian. I like this player, Estepian. He's an Ecuadorian player, and he played very well in the World Cup. And the ball was given to Evan Ferguson, who found Solly March in the box, who was very quick on that goal to put the game away against Liverpool. So that is it on Solly March. He have a wonderful future as well. I believe that there could be a big team that is looking forward for this guy. If he continue on this particular farm, then you may see him playing for another club. May not be in the Premier League because other teams in the Premier League are purchasing a lot of players, but great form for him so far, and I believe that he have what it takes to reach to another level. Now, to wrap up things here from the teams within the top 7, this guy is the man himself who is dominating for Fulham, the leading goal scorer for Fulham, Mitrovic, 28 years old, similar to Almiron and similar to Solly March, but he is different in terms of his playing style. He is a Serbian international, he wears the number 9, and he's like Erling Haaland, only one position being a forward in the Premier League: 17 games, 1,466 minutes, scoring 11 goals, 1 assist. So that is not bad for the great man himself, Mitrovic. Now, his playing style is that likes to do layoff, and finishing is top class. Defensively, contribution is his weak point, but I mean, they are performing well. Players like Bobby Reed, Fellaini, Willian, Pereira, you name all of those players, even Leno in goal. So whenever they have the ball, they just find Mitrovic here based on his playing position, waiting on the ball, he'll put it away. So Mitrovic is a player that big teams could be looking on as well. I can assume that United was looking for him at a point in time, but they did not pursue him to get his signature. But I mean, Mitrovic is a very top target striker in the Premier League. He is number one in terms of penalties, number one in terms of air challenges won, number one in air challenges. And by way of that, let me show you a goal that he scored. This was against Leicester City on the 3rd of January. The goal was created by the man himself, Willian. So that is it for this segment of Premier 7. I'm going to take a small break and then I will come back with something important in regards to who would I sign. I was a manager based on goal contribution. Team, bracket leadership. Club is the third point, revenue generation via sales. Alright, so I am back. So who would I sign to cover all of these attributes? If I was a manager, this player will be based on goal contribution for team, leadership, club, revenue generation via sales. Now, there are 7 players, but only one I can choose. Remember this particular player, he have to cover all of these things. So one player with all of these attributes. So I have made up my mind and I chose Marcus Rashford, Prince of England, right? Rashford is the man who is performing quite well. Goal contribution, quite fine. 9 goals, 3 assists in 20 games. So Ten Hag loves him. If he wasn't performing quite well, he would be on the bench. Now, there's his fixture, Marcus Rashford. So for that aspect, goal contribution, he covers that section. And on the team, leadership, Rashford possesses those qualities as a captain for the future because he works quite hard. Even when he's injured, he go back to the drawing board. He had a bad form in regards to his time within the Euros because he missed a penalty that led to England being placed aside by Italy. Himself, Saka, and Sancho did miss a penalty, but they were the ones who were racially abused. And by way of that, Rashford found himself in a state of depression, but he worked his way back to be on the scene here as a top player. Now, Rashford also encourages his teammates. He have a good relationship with them. He's quite honest and trustworthy. He shows respect for his teammates as well, and others in the sense that off the pitch, he was the person who received an MBE award by partnering with the government, saying to the government that, hey, there are persons in our country who needs food, who need other things to survive. And he worked his way along with the government and make persons' life happy as well. Now he cares about his team, preferably will be signing a new contract. Speaking about leadership, he's very competitive, compelled to win, not like Bruno Fernandes though, who is a work engine, but Rashford, he likes to be in the game. He likes to score goals. And as I've said before, he is trustworthy. He respects others because, I mean, he also encourages his teammates. Remember the goal that Wout Weghorst scored against Nottingham Forest? He was the first person to be there. So he covered those 2 aspects. Now for club revenue generation via sales, Rashford can help Manchester United to get high sponsorship deals. Commercial, the face that runs the place, is always in those spotlights, whether it's at United, at his home, you name wherever he is well known. Remember the game against PSG. If you want to buy tickets now, that game will give you remembrance because he was the person who scored that crucial penalty to carry United into the quarterfinals against Barcelona in the Champions League. Of course, Rashford is the person that you can rely on to speak to the public post games, pre games, everything. Rashford, Rashford, Rashford. Even though he's an academic player, he came to the rankings under the management of different coaches, and all of those coaches preferably like him. To start him, coaches like Van Gaal, Mourinho, Oli, Ragnick, on and off the bench, he knows how to deliver. So that is the reason why I selected Rashford because even though other players may be better than him, like within one aspect, for instance, like leadership, Harry Kane, goal contribution, Saka, and or Allen, overall, Rashford completes it for me. So he's a more complete person in regards to this aspect. So that is the reason why I chose Marcus Rashford for this. Now, I want to say thanks to all those persons who have managed to listen to the live stream video. It is now time for me to go, and it was my pleasure in bringing the news to you guys. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Premier 7. for more news in regards to the top 7 teams in the English Premier League.